Salam everyone and welcome back to Muslim Girl Diaries. Today I want to speak to parents, especially Muslim parents. And honestly, this could be for parents in general as well. This episode might be a little bit uncomfortable, but let's just face it, truth often is, and it could be very easy for us parents especially to get uncomfortable with hearing some of the things that maybe we do not want to hear. We need to say something clearly without defensiveness, without ego, and without hiding behind religion. Are you ready to hear this? Parents are not always right. Yes, that is a truth. That is the fact. I'm a parent. I know why I'm saying this. We are not always right. Not emotionally, not psychologically, and not spiritually. We do make mistakes, and that's okay. And being older does not automatically mean being wiser. Maybe that's hard for many parents to comprehend, just because we love to say, we've lived longer, we know better, which is true. But age without reflection, that does not produce wisdom. It only produces repetition. And Islam never taught us blind authority without accountability. Yes, God has given parents a higher station. That is absolutely true. And yes, children are commanded to show respect, kindness, gentleness, and restraint. And yes, raising your voice at your parents, humiliating them, or harming them, that is never going to be ever acceptable. But that goes for both ways, not just in one way. Authority was never a license for cruelty. And we have to understand that point. If a parent chooses to be toxic, if a parent chooses to be dismissive, if a parent chooses to shut down conversations, belittle emotions, mock vulnerability, or even weaponize obedience, which happens a lot. That's not righteousness. That is just abuse hiding behind hierarchy. There's a teaching that I'd like to share with you from our traditions that states leadership without mercy is a form of injustice, even if the leader is technically above others. And parenthood is leadership. You do not get rewarded for being obeyed. You get rewarded for being just. And that word, being just, is so important as parents. Let me say something very, very important. You have to understand, God listens to children just as much as God listens to us parents. The same God you cry to when you are overwhelmed, the same God you beg for forgiveness from. You have to understand that He also listens to your children as well. Their tears reach Him. Their confusion reaches Him. Their heartbreak reaches Him. He listens to them just as much as He listens to you and to me. You have to understand that age does not make a soul louder to God. Justice does. And God does not say the parent is always right. God says He is al-adl, which means He is the most just. He's seeing every scenario that you're going through and every scenario that your child is also going through. Your child might not see everything that you're doing, and you might not be seeing everything your child is doing. Which means one day, every conversation that was shut down, every feeling that was dismissed, every because I said so, that crushed a child's spirit, all of that will be weighed. If not in this lifetime of ours, it will be in the day of judgment. Now let me give you a story. One that I've seen played out in different homes, in different cultures, and in different communities. There was a teenage girl who tried to explain to her mother that certain words hurt her very, very, very deeply. She's not yelling. She's not being disrespectful. She's just speaking very calmly to her mom and explaining her situation. Her mother interrupts her and said, "Well, I fed you. I clothed you. I raised you. You have no right to feel hurt by me." And then from that moment on, the girl stopped speaking. Not out of obedience, but out of emotional shutdown. Years passed, And that daughter still showed respect. She still answered calls. She still helped when she was needed. She still lowered her voice, but her heart was no longer present. When she got married, she didn't share her fears. When she struggled, she did not ask for advice. And then when she eventually became a mother, she didn't lean on her own. And then one day, the mother said, well, I don't understand why my daughter is so distant. I did everything for her. But you see, that's the tragedy. Now, you can do everything materially, but you can still fail emotionally. One of the teachings passed down to us says that the strongest form of guidance is when people feel safe enough to speak. And that's so important to have between parents and children's relationships. If your child cannot speak to you, you have not guided them. You've only silenced them. And that's a huge problem, because who better than the parents to give advice to their children? Parents, listen carefully, please. Respect should not be the only thing that your child gives you. If the relationship is built only on fear, duty, and silence, you have raised obedience, but there is no connection in that. And that's really sad, because we want to connect with our children. We want them to become our best friends eventually. And Islam does not want robotic obedience. It wants conscious hearts. Now, at the beginning of your child's life, yes, you are the teacher, the provider, the protector, and the authority. But if you're still trying to parent your adult child the same way that you parented your 5-year-old, something has gone wrong in that picture. You see, please hear me out here, and this is very, very important for you to understand. Your role is meant to evolve with your child, from teacher to guider, from guide to supporter, from supporter to trusted voice, from authority to companion. And that's the golden word, companion. There's wisdom from our tradition that says the most honorable relationship is when advice is given gently, never imposed harshly. Because again, you will get obedience with that, but will it be everlasting? Is it going to keep on going? And that's what's important. You want that to keep on going. Now that applies both ways. Children must learn how to treat their parents, but parents also must learn humility. Now listen, humility does not mean that you lose your authority. It just means that you're earning respect instead of demanding it. You see, you're allowed to say, I was wrong. That's okay. We all make mistakes, especially as first-time parents. We're going to make mistakes. This is our first time walking down that road. There's no problem. You're allowed to say, well, I might not have handled that situation very well. Again, it's okay. They will understand. That will build better connections with your child. You're allowed to even say, help me understand how you feel. Wow, if many parents would do that with their children, how many relationships would be fixed? Believe me, that does not lower your rank with God or within your sense of self. It actually raises it, because you have to understand that God loves the parent who reflects, just as he loves the child who remains kind. If you want your child to stay close when they grow older, you have to listen to them while they're young. That's very important. If you want your advice to matter later, make their feelings matter now. We live in a world where things have changed drastically. You have to understand your child, not just teach your child. And to the children listening, you're still commanded to be gentle. There is no questioning that. You are always going to be commanded to be gentle to your parents, and you are still commanded to be respectful. You are still commanded to avoid cruelty in response to cruelty. God is very clear on that in the Holy Quran, how he tells children to treat their parents. But silence is not the same as righteousness. And God sees the effort you make to keep your heart clean, even when conversations are very hard. In the end, none of us stand before God as parents or children. We stand as souls. And the one who judges us is perfectly just. So let's raise homes where authority has mercy, where respect has warmth, and where love is not something children have to earn by just disappearing. May God soften our hearts, heal our families, and teach us how to deal with justice. Thank you for listening.